Jailbreak HYPERCHROME system. This thing which had kept many players in game, including me. In very first day people tried to find odds for hyperchromes, but in first 5 months it wasn't that easy. Until December 2022 we couldn't see the PT counter, we just knew that PT system existed. In December 2022 with CEO update we got PT counters. Now we know how close we are to get hyperchrome from PT. If I would ask you, what were the PTs before changes? I can bet that if you didn't watch previous video, you will say 250, 500, 750, 1000, 1500. And if you say that numbers, you are wrong. So what were the PTs? Don't worry, I will show them to you. In previous video I said that PT values now are 223, 467, 625, 917 and 1334. But also I say that they are approximate ones. I spent next month for calculations and I still can't find the accurate values. This requires more time, but I promise you won't be disappointed when I will finally solve the PT mystery. I have to warn you that this video contains many math calculations and coding structures, so if you are not doing good with extended math, you may not understand at all. With this in mind, I will tell you when you can skip math section and just see PT value. Of course, you don't have to do this, you can try to understand what I am doing. So now let's start calculating level 1. You may ask, how can I calculate PT when we know that 1% is not an integer value? Well, we can find very close value by searching repetitions in progress, and then calculating arithmetic average. But for level 1 I used another method. This is the only level which I didn't use repetitions nor proportions for. I saw progress is 0.4% or 0.5% per robbery on public server. It means the real progress is somewhere in the middle. So let's now say it's 0.45 per robbery. Now we do some math calculations. 0.45% per X robberies, we don't know how many robberies we did before, equals 44.2%. So 44.2% divided by 0.45 gives us an X. So we get number of robberies. With this I saw it gives us 98 infinite decimals of 2. Number of robberies have to be integer value, so we round it up. Why not down? Because I saw that plus 0.4% progress is more often, so PT values must be higher. Now we divide 44.2% per 99 and we get 0.44 and infinite decimals of 6464646464. This is the progress per robbery on public server for level 1. To make sure we continue to rob, after 44.2% there was 44.6% on the screen. Let's see if 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64646464 multiplied by 100 is approximately to one decimal number 44.6. And the 0.446464646464 multiplied by 100 equals 44.64646464, which is approximately 44.6. But let's go even further. Now we'll do 0.44 and infinite decimals of 6/4 multiplied by 101 be in the round of 45.1 that we saw on the screen. 0.44 and infinite decimals of 6/4 multiplied by 101 equals 45.09 infinite decimals of 2 zeros. Rounded to one decimal place, it is 45.1. Well, let's move on. Then the screen showed 45.5. Will 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64 multiplied by 102 rounded to one decimal place equal 45.5? 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64 multiplied by 102 equals 45.5 and infinite decimals of 3 and 9. Rounded to one decimal place, it is 45.5. The next attempt. 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64 multiplied by 103 rounded to one decimal must be 46. Because that's what was on the screen. 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64 multiplied by 103 equals 45.9 and infinite decimals of 85. Rounded to one decimal place, it is 46. We go further. 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64 multiplied by 104 should approximately equal 46.4. 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64 multiplied by 104 equals 46.4 and infinite decimals of 52. Again, rounded to one decimal place, it will be 46.4. And then some other calculations with 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64 multiplied by next few numbers and PT counter screens. Now let's divide 100 per 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64s, so we will know PT value. 100 divided by 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64s equals 223, and these decimals, as we cannot do not integer numbers of robberies, we have to do 224 robberies for guaranteed level 1. And on VIP, it's 223 and decimals multiplied per 1.5. And 223 and decimals multiplied per 1.5 equals 355 and decimals. So on VIP, it's 356. Final proof. I had 100.5% to Diamond 1. Let's check if 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64s multiplied per 225 will give us at least 100.45%. And 0.44 and infinite decimals of 64s multiplied by 225 equals 100.455454 and infinite decimals of 4s. So yeah, level 1 got solved really quickly, but now the level 2 was real disaster, but only because I didn't know one stupid progress. Because of this, I literally had noted progress from 50.9% on VIP till 66.7. When we have that much progress noted, we can use proportions method. If you don't know how proportions works, let's quickly explain. You write two fringes, you have to have only one unknown number. I went from 15.9% till 66.7, so 66.7 minus 15.9 is 50.8. This is how many percent I grinded and noted. I pasted all screens with progress on special Discord to check how many robberies I did. It gives us 361, but we have to do -1 because one of them is first screen of progress, which doesn't count to how many robberies I did. Now we know 360 is 50.8% of PT and X robberies is 100%. Now we multiply those like that and we get one equation. 36,000 equals 50.8x. Now we divide both per 50.8 and it gives us X equals 708 and decimals. This is the PT for level 2 on VIP. Now for public it's 708 and these decimals divided per 1.5. And this equals 472 and decimals, so on public it's 473 to get and on VIP it's 709. Now if you wonder, I can give you the progress per robbery on both. On public it's 0.211 and infinite decimals of 6%, and on VIP it's 0.14 and infinite decimals of 1s. Time for level 3, which wasn't that hard to solve because I didn't try to find repetitions that hard, but I still found them. It's most likely 7 times 0.1, then 0, then again, then 14 times 0.1 and 0. But we do not care about them because I had noted all progress from 10% to 53.5% on VIP. And this took 482 robberies. We make a proportions thingy again. 482 equals 43.5, X equals 100. It gives us 48,200 equals 43.5x. We divide both per 43.5 and it gives us 1108 and decimals. So we have to rob this place 1109 times on VIP to get guaranteed level 3. Course for public it's 1108 and decimals divided per 1.5. So it's 738 and decimals. And we have to do 739 robberies to get it. Now level 4, which repetition is unknown so far. But I'm sure about one thing, that 147 robberies gives us 11.3%. So of course we do proportions thingy again. 147 equals 11.3, x equals 100. And 14,700 equals 11.3x. And x equals 1,300 and decimals. This is the PT for level 4 on VIP. To calculate public we divide 1,300 and decimals per 1.5. And this equals 867 and decimals. And of course, as we have to do integer numbers of robberies, we have to rob one place 868 times on public or 1301 on VIP to get guaranteed level 4. And here you can see progresses per robbery on both public and VIP. I won't read them because they are too hard to read. And now, last level, the best in looks one, the level 5. And here the repetitions help me, because it's always 3 times 0.1 and 0. Always, always, almost always. It have to have one moment when the repetition doesn't go like that. Because of this quick math I found out that progress per robbery is not 0.075, which would be if repetition I mentioned before would go every time. But it has to be close to it, so we can use 0.05% per robbery to calculate. So 100 divided by 0.075 equals 1353 and infinite decimals of freeze, and 1333 and infinite decimals of freeze multiplied per 1.5 equals 2000. We have to do 1334 robberies on public and 2000 on VIP. But as I said, progress per robbery is a little bit less than 0.075, so maybe 1334 on public is true, but I would rather say that on VIP it's 2001. Because if progress is even 0.074999999, it gives us 1333 and decimals on public and 2000 and decimals on VIP. Also, this means you will be able to see 100% to guaranteed hyperchrome and won't get it if you will go for 100% on VIP if you wish to do so. So now we can see all PT values, but please remember what I told you at the beginning of the video. These values are close to true ones. Maybe some of them, like level 1, are true with integer values. To find out how many robberies it takes, I have to find patterns how percent goes every time we rob. It will take few next weeks, or even months. Just know that robbing and noting progress takes 90% of time needed to calculate it. I've spent 1.5 months to note close values. Hope finding accurate values will not take that much. I plan to find them and publish in this video, but as I said on my community section, it's not that easy to do. So yeah, wish me luck with next calculations, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see ya next time.